When your mind screams that you're done, that you have nothing left, you're only at 40% of your true capacity. This is the foundational rule of Navy SEAL mental toughness. By the end of this video, you will understand the 4 specific mechanical tools they use to push past that 40% wall. And the odds are high that you hit this false limit every single day, quitting on yourself without even realizing what you're leaving on the table. The human brain is a conservation engine. Its primary job, refined over millions of years, is to keep you alive tomorrow. It achieves this by carefully managing your energy reserves today. Think of it as an obsessive accountant for your body's budget. When you engage in a difficult task, physical or mental, you start spending energy. Your brain watches the account balance drain. Long before the account is actually empty, the accountant starts sending you urgent panic memos. These memos feel like exhaustion. They feel like pain. They feel like a desperate need to stop. These signals are a protective prediction. The brain is saying, if we continue at this rate, we might run out of resources, which could be dangerous. It creates a buffer, a huge one. That 40% point is where the serious alarms begin to fire. The feeling of being completely spent is a neurological illusion designed for survival in an ancient world. It's a software setting calibrated for scarcity and predators. The problem is, you're running that ancient software in the modern world. When you're at the gym or finishing a difficult project, the danger your brain is screaming about is an illusion. Your life is seldom on the line. SEAL training is an exercise in recalibrating this internal governor. The first step is learning to distinguish between discomfort and injury. Your body will send the same initial pain signals for both. The trainee's job is to assess the data clinically. Is this the pain of a muscle burning with effort, or the sharp, specific pain of a joint about to fail? One is a stop sign from your brain's accountant. The other is a mechanical failure. Learning to tell them apart is the first gate you have to pass through. You have to be willing to sit with the discomfort long enough to realize it's just a signal, a negotiation with your own survival instinct. But how do you stay in that negotiation when every cell in your body is screaming at you to flee? You do it by shrinking the world. An instructor in Coronado tells a class of aspiring SEALs they're about to begin Hell Week. That's 5.5 days of continuous training. You will get a total of maybe 4 hours of sleep for the entire week. You will be constantly cold, constantly wet, constantly sandy, and constantly doing soul-crushing physical work. The brain hears 5.5 days and immediately triggers a massive threat response. The task seems so impossibly large that the only logical response is to quit. It's an overwhelming cognitive load. So they teach you to stop thinking about the finish line. You forget about Friday. You forget about tomorrow. Your entire world becomes the next scheduled meal. The only goal is to make it to breakfast. Once you're at breakfast, the new goal is to make it to lunch. The 6-mile run in soft sand with combat boots becomes a series of smaller goals. Get to that piece of driftwood. Now get to that lifeguard tower. Now get to the pier. Each small victory provides a tiny squirt of dopamine, a chemical reward that says, we're making progress. This process, often called chunking, keeps the task within a manageable psychological frame. Your brain can handle running to a telephone pole. It can't handle running another 100 miles this week. You are manipulating your own perception of effort. You're giving your internal accountant a series of small, achievable budgets to work with, preventing it from panicking about the enormous annual forecast. This works until the immediate environment becomes so overwhelming that you can't even think about the next telephone pole. When the freezing Pacific Ocean is crashing over your head for the 10th time and your body is shaking uncontrollably, what then? You breathe. Specifically, you use a technique called arousal control or tactical breathing. It's also known as box breathing. It is brutally simple. You inhale through your nose for a 4-second count. You hold that breath for a 4-second count. You exhale through your mouth for a 4-second count. You hold the exhale for a 4-second count. And you repeat. This is a direct manual override for your body's panic button. When you're under extreme stress, your sympathetic nervous system kicks into high gear. Your heart rate skyrockets, your breathing becomes shallow, and your body floods with adrenaline. This is the fight or flight response. It's designed to help you outrun a predator, but it's terrible for complex problem solving or endurance. It narrows your focus and makes you more likely to make impulsive, survival-based decisions, like quitting. Box breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, which is the primary control for your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the rest and digest system. A slow, controlled exhale physically slows your heart rate. It sends a powerful signal from your body back to your brain that says, "We are in control." The immediate threat is manageable. It short-circuits the feedback loop of panic. Panicked mind leads to panicked body, which leads to a more panicked mind. Breathing breaks the chain. This isn't just a relaxation technique. It's a tool for emotional regulation that allows you to remain clear-headed under immense pressure. It creates a tiny pocket of mental space between a stimulus and your reaction. In that space, you can access the thinking part of your brain again. It's practiced over and over, on the firing range, during physical training, until it becomes an automatic response to stress. This manages the crisis in the moment, but the true foundation of resilience is built long before the crisis ever hits. It's built on 4 mental pillars, practiced daily until they become as ingrained as tying your shoes. 2 of those pillars are the goal setting and arousal control we've already covered. The other 2 are visualization and self-talk. Let's start with visualization. Before a mission, before a dive, before a grueling physical evolution, SEALs mentally rehearse the entire event from start to finish. This is an intensely detailed process. They see the environment, they feel the temperature of the water, they feel the weight of their pack, and the grip on their rifle. They imagine the sounds, the smells, every conceivable detail. They visualize themselves moving through the entire process successfully, overcoming obstacles with calm precision. This works because the human brain has difficulty distinguishing between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. The same neural pathways fire. By rehearsing in your mind, you are essentially preloading the experience. When you finally encounter the real event, it doesn't feel new. Your brain treats it as something familiar. It's the second time you've done it, not the first. This dramatically reduces the fear and anxiety that comes from uncertainty. You've already built the neural blueprint for success. You're simply executing a plan that your brain already recognizes. It also allows you to troubleshoot problems in advance. What if a piece of gear fails? What if the weather turns? You can visualize these contingencies and your successful response to them, building a mental playbook for adversity. This builds confidence that is rooted in preparation, a deep-seated belief that you are ready for whatever comes. But this mental movie needs a script. That script is your self-talk. It is the constant internal monologue running in your head. For most people, this inner voice is automatic, reactive, and often negative, especially under stress. It says things like, "I can't do this," or "This is too hard," or "I'm going to fail." SEALs are trained to seize conscious control of that internal monologue and turn it into a tool. Their self-talk becomes positive, instructional, and relentless. It's simple, it's direct. During a long run, the voice says, "Light on your feet, stay relaxed." While carrying a heavy log with 5 other men, it's one step at a time, keep your grip. When you're cold and miserable, it's "the sun will be up soon, keep moving." This serves 2 purposes. First, it focuses the mind. Instead of letting your attention drift to the pain or the desire to quit, you anchor it to the immediate task. You're talking yourself through the mechanics of the action. This is borrowed directly from performance psychology. Elite athletes do this constantly. They replace a narrative of suffering with a narrative of instruction. Second, positive self-talk reframes the experience. Telling yourself, "I can handle this," versus "this is killing me," creates 2 completely different biochemical realities in your body. One fosters resilience, the other triggers a stress response. They train themselves to talk to themselves the way a good coach would. It's encouraging, but also tactical. It's a deliberate choice to narrate your own effort in a way that makes success more likely. It's the understanding that your thoughts are a critical piece of your equipment and they need to be maintained and directed just like your weapon. It takes constant vigilance to catch the negative automatic thoughts and replace them with something functional. The goal is to build a default internal voice that is on your side, especially when things get hard. All of these techniques, shrinking the goal, controlling your breath, visualizing success, and scripting your self-talk, point toward a single powerful conclusion. Mental toughness is a process. It is a set of trainable skills. The secret is that there is no secret, just a system that is practiced with brutal consistency. They have deconstructed resilience and turned it into a checklist. When you feel overwhelmed, you shrink the goal. When you feel panic, you breathe. When you face uncertainty, you visualize. When you hear doubt, you talk back. Each one is an action, a verb. It's the profound realization that your internal state is a dynamic system you can actively influence. The feeling of "I'm done" is simply a piece of data from an overcautious survival mechanism. It's a suggestion, a warning light on the dashboard. It is a proposal from your own mind that you have the right to decline. You are the executive of your own effort. You get to hear the proposal to quit, thank your brain for its concern, and then respectfully override the recommendation. The 40% wall is real, but it's a wall made of perception, and these tools are the way you learn to walk right through it. And this exact system of internal state management is why the world's best crisis negotiators spend 90% of their effort managing their own emotions and physiology, which creates the space to influence everyone else in the room. That's a different kind of pressure entirely.